Hello students, we are gonna go through again the economic definition in our second week. Let's write it down more ways to categorize costs. So our title is more ways to categorize costs, and we have 4 different costs. The first one is direct costs. Let's write it down. Direct cost. What does it mean? Let's define it. Let's plug this one here and let's write it down here. Okay. It is can be measured, like direct cost can be measured and allocated to a specific work, allocated to a specific work activity such as cost of material used on the labor, material used or labor. So is direct cost, which is directly affect this cost, is like material or labor and blah blah. And if we have direct cost, of course we will have indirect cost as well. Indirect cost. Let's define this one. Let me put this guy here and I continue to write it. Alright. This one is difficult to attribute. Or allocate to a specific output or work activity is also called overhead or burden, which is hidden cost. Okay, burden. Let's give an example, like such as cost of tools, because if we lose the tools or broken tools, so we need to buy, or equipment maintenance, so etc. So it is like we don't know the machine is gonna broken right in the middle of the work, so that's why it's indirect cost. We need to take it into account, but it's very hard to predict it. Also, standard cost, we have standard cost. Let's put this guy here and let's define it. Hold on. This is cost of like cost per unit of output, or established to advanced or in advanced, not to advanced, in advanced, right? From previously is known that this cost is gonna be of production or services, Let's give an example, like plant cost, or also like services delivery. Like its plant cost also is thing which is like insurance or stuff, right? So we already know this one. And the last one is incremental, which is like gradually increased cost, incremental cost. And let's define again these guys. It is additional cost resulting from increasing output of a system by one or more units, such as, let's give an example, cost of extra mileage, right? Extra mileage on a rental car, So if you rent a car for your like in construction business, like the construction machines, if you rent it, if you put extra miles, they are gonna charge you because it's overused. So it's incremental cost. So we have 4 different costs: direct cost, indirect cost, standard cost, and incremental cost. And we define all these costs. So we can jump to cost terminology. Let's divide it here, and let's write our title again, which is cost terminologies. Cost terminologies. Okay, this one is also we need to define. The first one is cash cost. Cash cost, which is basically a cost that involves a payment of cash. So we are paying cash, this not with credit. Sorry. Yeah, not with credit. This cash cost. And let me write it down here, and then let's continue. Is book cost. Book cost, which is a cost that does not involve a cash transaction, but is reflected in the accounting system. So let's say we in Turkey also we are using like cash checking account, like you are using your check and making like a little bit time, or you put set the time to transfer the money from your bank to the other bank. If you don't have enough money, then the bank is gonna be make some sanctions on your accounting system, right? What else we can do is sunk cost. Okay, let's go through sunk cost. What is it? Let's see. Let's learn. Let's put first of all here, then let's continue. Okay, let's write it here. Sunk cost is a cost that has occurred in the past and has no relevance to estimates of future cost and revenue. So it's in the past is occurred, but is not relevant it is not affecting the revenue or future payment. And opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. What is it? This is the monetary advantage. Monetary means money advantage for a gun due to limited resources. The cost of the how can I say it? Like the cost of the best rejected opportunity. So it's also called lost opportunity cost. So like for example, there is an opportunity but you have lack of sources, so you cannot make it. That means you lose money, so it's called opportunity cost. And then life cycle cost, the last one is our last definition of the cost is life cycle cost. It is the summation of all costs related to a product or structure system. As a civil engineer or service during the its lifespan. So life cycle cost is like all the costs during the project or services or the structures. So we define all these cost terminologies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cost terminologies, and being fast, let's go through another subject of our class, which is price of a product, which is slightly we are getting close to our main task after we define all these economic terminologies, right? Price of a product. So let's write it down. Price of a product, which we are gonna define as P, okay, is the summation of the total cost of the product and its percentage of profit. Which is like also profit margin, I say profit margin. Say, all right. So price of a product is we are gonna do is the materials, products or services cost, and the profit is gonna give the price of the product, which is in the verbal side is gonna be price is equal to total cost plus profit, right? What is like the mathematical representation of this sentence is given as this one, or let's do like short way is gonna be P is equal to total cost, like, or cost T, let's say CT, we show it as an total cost plus profit. Let's show it with a big P, or like vice versa, we can show it as big P and then small p as a profit. Then let's make it another note here. Let me bring here. We should have bring PS. It is demand. We know that demand, which is D, what's showing, is one of the variable that affects the price, right? Price just showed as P. We know that from our previous lecture, right? So we know that this one, and another one is, let's write it down here again. Profit, we show it P, could be expressed in terms of the 100% of total cost as well. We know that the profit can be like 100% of like total cost or 5% of total cost. We can express our profit with respect to the total cost. All right, let's draw a line here and then let's jump to other subject, which is the general price and demand relationship. So how we are gonna make the relationship between the price and the demand? We know that the demand for a product, or service is linearly proportional to its price occurring to, say, is like let me draw a graph and I can express better. Like let's say we have a demand and we have a price here. So we know that if this price and demand is linearly proportional, it means if the demand is high, the price is lowering normally, because the total cost or the labor is gonna decrease. If it is the demand is low, that means the price is getting high. So we can relate this one, P, which is price, is equal to A minus BD, which is, I will define right now, because we know that D is the variable, so A minus BD is the linear relationship. A and B is constant. Let's define, and okay, let's close this one. Here, let's say where we know that P is price and D is demand. All right, and A and B are constants that depends on the particular product or service. So it depends, like your product or service, how it's gonna change A and B according to this line, right? P and A and B. So here D is the demand. Like if we increase the demand, it's gonna go like it's gonna of course changing. The P is gonna be again linearly up, and we know that the total cost and then the profit is gonna change this A and B as well. And let's draw a cost curve. There's another term is cost curve, so we can better understand this the price and demand terms with this curve. Let's again draw a graph. Okay, let's make it bigger. So this is cost. This guy, this line, this axis is gonna give cost or revenue. And the bottom ordinates is given as the demand again. So the curve, we know that the curve is gonna be like a bell shaped. Okay, so it's gonna be something like that. Let's change the color. Right now we can say okay, let's have a fixed cost like here. Okay, if I have a cost of fixed, and then if I have a variable cost, like it goes over like this, let's say with the demand is increasing linearly, so my total cost is gonna be parallel, but it's gonna start with the fixed cost and then it's gonna be like that one. So this one is my total cost, and which is with the demand, the cost of course is increasing. So this cost and cost curves, let's divide it into the volume. Okay, so we have this intersection and we have this intersection for the total cost, right? So we say, okay, let's say here is D1, this intersection demand is D1, and this intersection demand is D2. Okay, let's define what is going on here. If we draw like this kind of shape, and what's gonna be? So this hold on. As we see here in this region and in this region, this curve basically is the revenue. Okay, the total revenue curve. Total revenue. So as we see here, if we have less than this one, our revenue is less than total cost. So here is the loss region. So if you have a product less than this guy, it means you are in losing money. If the demand is higher than this one, it's gonna be again in a loss region. Why? Because your total cost is bigger than your revenue. So because the demand is increasing, by the demand is increasing, the prices decrease. So your revenue is some certain way, your revenue is decreasing with the demand because too much product is on there. So the price is decreasing and then your revenue is decreasing. and there is a line that, let's say, is approximately here, the maximum profit. Your maximum profit is here. So maximum profit you get in here in this distance, because here how much your revenue minus the total cost, this is your profit. So when you bring down, there's a, let's say, this star, which is the golden demand number for a certain product, and this between these intermediates, this is called benefit region. Benefit region. Okay, region. So in between these guys, in D1 and D2, we have a benefit. If we make it less than D1 or higher than D2, we are gonna lose by producing or not producing. So this is called cost curve. So the definition of this economic terms is finished. Let's review or summary of these formulas. Summary, let's say, we have seen just three formulas, right? Which is the first one. First one is, if we have the total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost, right? Which is, we know that number two, variable cost is the unit price with multiplied by the demand. And the third formula is, as we see, price is equal to the total cost plus the profit. So in the first chapter, we have known just like these three formulas in order to solve our problems. If it is quantitative, if it is like qualitative definition questions, so you guys need to know like this subject. That's it. All right. Let's solve like some problems in order to get what kind of problems we can see with these basic formulas. Okay, let's start our first example. Let's write example 1. If the total variable cost of a product is 50,000 Turkish lira, and total fixed cost is 150,000 Turkish lira. So it's gonna be asking, what is the total cost of product? Very easy. So it's just like an primary school math. We know that because it's very easy class, and you will know very easily like this cost of variable is, we know that is 50,000 and fixed cost is 150,000. So total cost is the addition of variable cost plus fixed cost, which is 50 plus 150 is gonna be 200,000 is a total cost of this product. 200,000 Turkish lira. Okay, very easy, very simple math. And let's jump to other question. Let's continue example 2. Example 2. It is a if the variable cost per product is 50 Turkish lira and total fixed cost is 150,000 Turkish lira. Okay, what will be the total cost of the product when the demand of the product is 1,000? All right. Let's fix here. So as we see, the small CV, which is the unit price of the product, is 50 and demand is 1,000. So we can define here the variable cost, which is the CV multiplied by the demand, which is 50 multiplied by 1,000, right? So it's gonna be 50,000, as like previous example. And the total cost, again, we know that CV plus CF, which is fixed cost, plus variable cost, which is 50,000, plus the fixed cost is 150,000. Again, the total cost for 1,000 unit is 200,000 Turkish lira. All right. Okay, the second example is also done. So let's go to third example. Example 3 is the total cost of the total cost of a product is estimated to be 250,000 Turkish lira if the company takes 5% of the product total cost as profit or profit production, right? Produce. What is the what will be the price of the product? So here there's the truth formula plays role here. Let's see how we are gonna solve. So let's see the given, which is the total cost is given is 250,000 Turkish lira, and profit we can calculate it as 5% of the total cost, right? Yeah. So the price we need to find, because it's asking the price of the product. Price is the total cost plus the profit, as we know previously. The total cost is 250,000 Turkish lira plus the profit. Profit is 5%, which is 0.05 multiplied by the total cost, which is 250,000 Turkish lira. So the price of this product is 0.05 multiplied by 250,000 plus 250,000 is gonna be 262,500 Turkish lira, which is the price of this product with 5% of profit for the company. Let's continue our examples. Example 4. The total cost of a cell phone. The total cost of a cell phone is estimated to be 2,750 Turkish lira if the price of the product is 3,000 Turkish lira. Then what will be the profit per product? So we are asking right now the profit. So let's see again the given. What is given here is the total cost is gonna given as 2,750, and the price of the product is also given as 3,000. So we know that price is equal to the total cost plus the percentage of the product with multiplied by also, like, let's say profit. Okay, so if we take like profit in this side and a price in the other side, so we know that profit is P minus the total cost. So it's gonna be 2,000 Turkish lira minus 2,750 is gonna be the profit of this product is 250 Turkish lira. Why we are doing this basic question? Because I didn't ask what will be the percentage of the profit. I asked the profit. Profit is already given like money, which is 250 Turkish lira. So you guys are getting used to the questions type. So let's write it the last question and then let's finish for this week. Example 5. It is the total cost of a cell phone again is estimated to be again 2,750 Turkish lira if the price of the product is again 3,000 Turkish lira, exactly the same thing from the previous question. Then what will be the percentage of profit per product? So right now we need to find the percentage of the profit product. So from the previous question we know that product profit is 250 lira, right? 250 lira. So we know that profit P is percentage of profit, let's say, multiplied by the total cost. So the percentage of profit is equal to profit over total cost, right? So it is 250 over the total cost is 2,750. We need to divide 250 to 2,750. So it's gonna be 0.091% of, or like 0.091, which is not percent. Let's delete this percent. In percent way, we need to multiply by 100, so it's 9.1%, right? So 9.1% profit is taken from this product. Alright, we are done for this week. Take care of your guys. Thank you again for your attendance and attention. If you have any question, please let me know.